Welcome to B2B with Randy and Craig, where we speak to local entrepreneurs and learn about their journey. Welcome to B2B with Randy and Craig, where we discuss the rise, the fall,
and the kicking.
Come on. Sunday morning, not a chance. Joe Ocasio from JRZ is with us. Welcome. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you, guys. Happy to be here. And I might take that from you by to the end of today.
I hope you do. I hope you physically take it from him. I got to ask you before we get started, I hope he does. What inspired you to get into better healthcare?
I mean, honestly, I was an overweight kid, and I got bullied a lot for it. And the reason that I got into just health and fitness and wellness was, I wanted to be a professional wrestler. And I got laughed at. I'm like,
who doesn't? I want to be a professional wrestler.
I know, right?
My dad was a professional wrestler for Vince McMahon Sr.
We'll talk about that.
That's really awesome.
By the way, he's a conversation stealer. We'll start right away.
Yeah, I know. And I'm going to steal that title from him by the end of it.
I just want to tell you right away.
So I just, that was my goal. And I set my mind to it. I was going to be a professional wrestler. And that just led to steps of, okay, I'm going to start playing sports. I'm going to start watching what I eat, thinking about what I eat. I'm going to start exercising.
So how is that? I got to ask you, from the entrepreneur, staying with the spirit of the show, how is that a business? So, because you're in great shape. You look terrific. Maybe it's the black you wear. I don't know, but you look terrific.
Thank you.
But
are you coming on to him?
No, he looks good. But maybe, I don't know. JRZ.
I'll take this off of you.
No. It's a family show, like we said.
Okay, fair.
Appreciate it. But look, JRZ. So how does that turn into revenue?
Okay, so I'll fast forward. So I got into the fitness world, as well as pursuing wrestling, and I excelled at a big box brand that was Group Fitness, and quarantine happens.
Got it. So you were a personal trainer, working at a gym.
Yep.
People would come in and say, I'm sick, I can't, help me. And
right. And I worked for a big box where I walked all walks of life. And what I realized is a lot of, I was talking to Kelly before actually about this.
Kelly, our photographer.
Yes, your photographer.
She was on our show
out.
a couple of weeks ago.
You should all have a baseline of knowledge as a trainer. You should be certified. But what is it? You get to know your customers very well. You're not seeing them for 1 second. You're not seeing them once a week.
What's an average session? 30, 45 seconds?
It's usually about an hour.
About an hour.
And I'm seeing people in group sessions 3, 4, 5 times a week. So you're building a personal relationship.
Sure.
And I think what a lot of people are looking for.
And you're personable. I mean, look.
I hope so.
No, you are.
But it's for me, it's not, I just want people to get jacked or whatever the case is. I want to hear what your goals are, because I had specific goals. The reason I look the way I do and train the way I do is for a reason. My reason might be much different than yours. So I like to try to find your why and then use your why as a way to stay the course and not fall off, which is tough.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Of course.
Craig, what he just said is not only about your personal physical well-being, that is exactly the way you need to drive your business.
Yep.
What is your why? What problem are you solving? What is the why? If you don't have a why, what are you doing?
Right.
You're getting up every day. You're just spinning your wheels. Sorry,
it's okay.
He gets excited.
And the why for me is very simple. I care. I do. I care about other people.
I sense that right away talking with you. That's awesome.
Real segue, as an overweight kid, right? So I wanted to be a pro wrestler, and I got bullied. My goal was, okay, there's other kids out there, and they're probably feeling the same way. So when I said I wanted to be successful as a wrestler, it wasn't just for me. It was more like, I want to let those kids know, don't let anyone tell you can't.
Was there a wrestler that you watched that you gained inspiration from? Were you a John Cena hustle, loyalty, and respect guy?
I'm a little before that.
Oh, okay.
Even though I respect Cena. I mean, the first WrestleMania I watched was WrestleMania 14.
Okay.
So I was captive. The Undertaker's entrance, I was captivated, right? Ken Shamrock, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold. But Kurt Angle wound up being the guy that was like, I'm going to do this because that guy is
He
amazing.
motivated you. He was the inspiration that got you to be where you are.
Yes.
And how did it, and I'm going to go back to what you were saying before about you're doing this for other kids that have are living what you went through.
Yeah.
And part of our goal at B2B is to show people other people have accomplished things that are sitting in your position. Right. Get up and get out and do it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying. Don't let this be a hurdle.
That is 100% what I'm saying. Because it goes into the fitness and wellness, right? It's kind of the same mindset. There's going to be a lot of reasons why your brain or other people tell you, no, you can't, no, you can't, no, you can't. But what I try to do in the fitness side of things is show these pockets of how you can do things a little bit differently. Hey, This is what your meal is every day. Okay, you're eating that, fine. Maybe we can just shift the plate a little bit, so you're having what you do like if your goal is weight loss or whatever the case is.
Right.
So these little tricks that people don't actively think about, like, oh man, this isn't such a drastic change.
That's what's giving you your sense of accomplishment is, and I'm asking,
Sure,
I'm not telling
please.
you, is the customization, I guess I'm going to say, that you're doing for the individual person, not going at it with just one overall, even though you
Yes.
may be in a group of 10, I'm making up a number, individually you're doing something for them.
100%, yes, because I do multiple things. I do the small groups, and that is what I started to focus on, interpersonal small groups, where it wasn't 30, 50 people where I can't really correct you or have that. You can, if you need me, you can get me.
So your home training, you stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, that's usually, I start at like 5 a.m. and I usually go through until about 8:30, and I'm doing more online now. You know,
What's the most common misconception about what you're doing?
it's as simple as just putting some exercises together and all right, have fun.
No.
It's not at all. I mean, so I have mirrors everywhere because I'm constantly, like, you have to be able to multitask very well. So I have to be able to find a reason to get you, right? It's a cue, because what am I going to tell you about scientific knowledge? Like, you're going to be like, what the heck is this guy talking about? The erectus scapulus,
That
right?
doesn't motivate me.
Right. Hey, like, you have to hinge at your hips. Stick your butt back like you're showing it off to someone behind you.
Right.
Something funny. Oh, okay, I get it now, right? Whatever that might be. So I get to know the person, right? If I know that there are certain things you're interested in, if I could relate it to that, right? Like someone was a big Tom and Jerry fan, and he was telling me about a rope that, like, once he got pulled, right, or something, and I'm like, imagine that rope around your waist and you're getting pulled back. That's how you hinge.
Got it.
Right, and it was finally clicked for him.
You know, above my head there's a book called Traction, and we had an EOS implementer on. His name was Adam. Terrific guy.
Yeah.
Different kind of trainer. He
Right.
trained your business sense.
That's awesome.
All right. Same. And I'm listening to you. And one of the cues he kept saying was, it has to be the right fit. Right. And maybe I'm not the right guy. And I see what you're saying. What were you going to say?
That is 100% true. Sometimes it is not the right fit.
It has to be, because I want to. I got to be motivated by you,
Right.
and you got to want to motivate me.
Right. And that is the big thing, like I was saying before. I think the most important thing in this world, because it is so interpersonal, you're kind of like a therapist in a lot of ways, because you're hearing what's going on.
Sure.
And you kind of have to, because you have to hear what their stressors are.
Right.
And like where it's coming from and how you could fit and adjust them staying motivated and staying the course. So, and then like
That's your superpower. So his superpower is, in the 10 minutes we've been together, 15 minutes, is bringing down the pressure, bringing down the temperature in the room, making people feel very comfortable with you. Because if I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to open up, and I got to open up to tell you what I'm.
You're
what
not
my
going to
issues
get,
are.
you're not going to be motivated. You know, each person, each client, I'm assuming, is very different.
100%.
And you have to be able to read the room and know the client
know your
enough.
customer.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, you've been doing this for how long?
I got certified in 2014. So that's when I first became a
That's
personal
awesome.
trainer.
So 11 years.
Yeah.
11 years. So you travel from Manhattan to Montauk? Tell me your
So
territory.
generally speaking, I'm Long Island based.
Got it.
And I do most of my training in East Meadow at a private studio that can fit about 10, 12
So
people.
more people are coming to your studio.
More people come
So
to
how
me.
does somebody find you? How do they get started?
Yeah, so easiest way, I mean, you could go on the Instagram, right? Instagram is great.
What is it? Tell us.
At Joe's Result Zone. It's the full name, and also Joe's...
JRZ, I get it.
JRZ,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
JoesResultZone.com also is an easy way to find me. And I'm also on MindBody. So if you're looking for classes or sessions and you go on MindBody and you search in East Meadow, you'll find my gym.
You mentioned to us earlier that you also do videos. So what would that mean? Like, let's say Craig can't come to your studio. For some reason, his cart will not go to a gym. We don't know what it is. It just he tries.
keeps going.
It just doesn't
we
know.
Don't know. Like two magnets coming together. We don't know what it is, but maybe it'll work on camera, right? So
Right.
is that something you do?
Yeah,
Like you're on and you guys work? What do you do?
Right. So like where I've gotten to as a business now, talking about it, so I started in 2020 and it was necessity, right? So I've learned on the
COVID, you were talking about
Right.
how that
Yeah.
changed the direction.
So
Right.
it was learn on the job, right? So where I'm at now is I've started to delegate to some other people who I trust that are respectable trainers, and it took time to find the right fit, right? And I'm expanding more to doing more virtual sessions because my time is opening up, which is easier for me to also multitask.
And these trainers are training in your fashion.
Yes.
It's your SOP. It's your way.
Right.
It's JRZ.
I'm all about collaboration, but
see.
I am a part of the process.
I love it because I'm hiring you.
Yes.
Your way.
Yes.
Right.
I got it.
So
Correct.
I feel like being the champion at what I do is
this
knowing.
guy's gonna. This guy, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, he's taking the jacket on now. Being the champion at content creation.
Craig can't even talk right now.
At content creation is knowing that you're not great at being a champion at everything. So delegating is hard, right? So how do you let go of those responsibilities?
That's such a good question.
It's a great question.
It's tough. It's like a process. I feel like it's like you're giving, the business is your baby, right? So you're accepting that part of the control that you have, in a way, even though you're on top giving the information, is gone. And you have to accept that listen, nothing is perfect. There's human error. That's going to change things. It's going to be uncertainty, right? And it's just, for me, it's like, okay, I have to weigh things out. I have to see it. If I don't delegate, then I'm stuck in this position without growth. And I've always said, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's how I feel about myself in life.
Agreed.
You brought up a great point of one of my questions that I generally give $1 million question, right? And
Sometimes it's 50 cents, but we
Fair.
go for it.
so, in regards to your business, everyone has a catchphrase, a slogan. To me, being the champion of content creation gets me remembered, right? Do you guys over at JRC have a motto or?
Fitness, wellness, sports. That's
Bingo.
the motto. Very simple.
Bingo.
And one thing that's funny, I didn't bring it with me, but we have our own championship, and we do competitions, and whoever wins gets a belt.
We're going to definitely have to do something with that. There's absolutely no question about that. I want to go back to what you were talking about, delegating. I thought that was such an important topic you brought up, and I'm going to tell you that some of the problems, some of the obstacles people face is that you're in your business, have these people that have worked with you for so many years, but now you're at a different stage in that cycle.
Yeah.
And now is it the right person in the right seat? And you got to make some tough decisions sometimes. So I'm going to add that to another part of that challenge. Here's a guy, he says he's been in business 11 years. He may have had somebody with him 10. They're not going to help him get to the next 10 because you outgrew them. The business outgrew them. And there's nothing bad about them, but look, this is business.
It's it's funny because then you have the clientele who are part of this process of change too, that sometimes you're seeing things that they don't.
100%.
And you're seeing this person is definitely a better fit long term. Trust me. I can see, I can trust, I have this relationship, and they're hesitant thinking somebody else is the right fit.
I'm going to have Adam give you a copy of that book.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. And I have a feeling you're a reader more than a listener. You like to read.
I like to do both.
Yeah, I love it. And Craig wants to do his thing. He's twitching. I know why. You ready? He loves
If you're just tuning in to B2B with Randy and Craig on WBAB 102.3, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, we are sitting here with Joe Ocasio from JRZ. Now, everything in life isn't a win, right? You can't win at life in everything except if you're the champ. Now, is there a mistake that had to
He's
happen?
like poking you. It's like funny.
Unless you're the champ, I remember that. Yeah.
Was there a moment that you made a mistake that it had to have happened in order for you to be sitting where you are now?
Yeah, many times. I've made many mistakes. I'd say, from keeping it in the JRZ and stuff, boundaries is tough. And that was the biggest thing for me, where there's been times where, because it's so interpersonal, you forget that, there's some people that come that are friends that I've known forever.
Yeah.
But there's new people that I would almost let that line get crossed. And then the waters get murky when it's like, okay, I have to buckle down. I have to focus on this. I have to, change this policy. And now there's a conflict there.
Right.
That would have never probably been there if I just said, hey, like, this is this. No, this is the rule.
You have such a tough seat you're sitting in because you can't help And that I get it. I get it.
Forgiving a late cancellation, forgiving people being late.
Can't do that.
Right. It's like, but like you're in your heart, like, okay, maybe they just need, but like you got to be like, hey, like
this is the policy.
This is your responsibility too. This is the accountability you promised me, and I'm here for you.
Right.
Something that I learned. There's a very important group I belong to called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. And one of the things that we do in the subgroup, it's called a forum, is we have our forum contract that we make together. And one of the things that a policy is about being late, and we agreed ahead of time what that means. So there's no baloney.
Yeah.
You were late. I don't want to. I know that you're kid, but you were late.
Right.
Let me give you an example really quick. I noticed a change in certain class times where there was people who were habitually late and like not wanting to do certain things and vocalizing it, where everybody starts kind of getting a little like, oh, not working as hard.
Oh, once it happens once, it's a disease.
And then when those people, then all of a sudden everything goes back when that changes. Sometimes it's just moving someone to a different time.
Right.
It's not that they're bad. Maybe that time doesn't work for them.
This goes back to, again, we're going to put this in the office. It's the same thing.
Right.
Being in a class and being in office, same thing. You have a bad egg, that could suck the life out of the
Correct.
room. So I have to ask you, in your business, what's your scaling strategy?
So that is such a good question. I realized there's only so much that I could do in person without scaling and growing this business. Plus, I have a professional wrestling company of my own, and I have my professional
What's the name of
wrestling
your
career,
professional wrestling?
Championship Entertainment Productions.
Craig has that on his belt.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because
He really wants me to drop kick me
I can't wait
today.
to get me thrown around. I can't wait to see that.
But I eventually start spreading yourself too thin. So I'm trying to bring more of my programming to an online community where maybe it's not just in virtual training, but I'll listen to you. I'll write your program. I'll give you suggestions on what you should be consuming. I'll have check-ins with you. That's something that I haven't done yet because I've been so busy in person. Thank God.
Yeah, problem.
Good problem to have. But again, it's a necessary change because I know where I want to go, and I know I'm getting to a point where I'll be capped if I don't.
I love it, man.
So
That's great.
there's got to be someone sitting at home right now that's working a 9 to 5, miserable, like the majority of people. What would you say to them to get them out from behind themselves?
I will say this straight up: the pressure's real, and it's not easy to be a business owner. I think we all know that. However, the one thing that always gets me through the day, right? Even like today, I was having like a stressful moment. I'll be honest with you guys.
About coming on the show?
It was definitely the show. It was because I had to see you and that. No,
That could you believe me? I know that feeling.
no. But I'm like, okay, if I put my energy into these areas, I could get more money. There is no cap. I'm not really stuck in a rut. No. And that's what that gets. So if that's the fear is
mindset.
Jim Carrey did a speech. And I forget what he was. Why he was a keynote speaker, and he was talking about how his dad wanted to be a comedian, but he was an accountant because it was the safe route, and he lost his job. So, right,
bingo.
You might as well go for what you love.
You might as well do what you love if you can.
I still get goosebumps from that.
If you can, it's a great. And look at you.
Yeah.
And not every people think do what I love. You're going to be a baseball player. No, here's a guy who loves helping people, loves fitness, taking care of himself, helping others. It's amazing.
Right.
I got to ask you, recommend a book. We always ask everybody, all our guests, to recommend a book.
The Alchemist.
One of my favorites.
Yep.
One of my favorites. Absolutely just finished that. As a matter of fact, we talked about it 1 week. Agreed. That's a fantastic book.
Yes.
Now, with your wrestling company, do you find it easier or more difficult to manage than your JRZ?
Oh man, well I have two partners, my Len and Mark, who owns Lucharitos also, and Len is a wrestler, Donnie Dixon.
Love it.
So it's unique. It's a little different. I feel that it could be more stressful and tough that last like week or two before the event. But
that's when it's
right.
like doing a Broadway show the night it goes on.
Right, where like the pulse of fitness and what I'm doing is like every day I'm in that fire. But with that, it's like everything can be like, oh, wait, holy crap, what's 2 weeks? Wait a minute, we don't have what? So it's...
So I got to say, there's a gentleman that works with us. His name is Theo. And then we brought a guest on whose name is Dimitri. And Theo, one time I see him all the time. All of a sudden, he looks terrific.
Yeah.
He always looked great. He looked terrific.
Right.
Demetrius comes in, looks terrific. I'm like, what are you guys? They did a charity boxing. So I signed up this year. So you're either going to see me either
With a
looking
black
terrific,
eye.
but I start my training in June.
Okay.
So why am I doing it? I'm doing something I thought I would never do. I never in my life pictured myself. I mean, I've loved, I grew up with Mike Tyson, loved the fighting. You guys were talking wrestling before. That wasn't my thing. It felt like a little Dungeons and Dragons to me, I'll be honest. But that's a different conversation.
Fair enough.
But to get up, I look at a guy like you, it inspired you.
Yeah.
I had a different inspiration by my peer saying, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it. So I think I got big to do that.
No, that's awesome. And this and that, new experiences, right? Like, I think that's what everyone's chasing to a certain degree is you don't want to feel like you're in a rut, I think in general, right?
Get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, 100%. And like, like you were saying, what I always loved about and with wrestling, like I think when I was a kid, I'm like, all right, I know the Undertaker's not dead. Like,
Right.
I understood
I get
that.
it.
But what I'm like, but this is really cool. It's kind of like Men in Black, which I loved. But then I'm watching like sports. It's all blended into this
It's
never-ending story.
It's a soap opera that goes on 24 hours a day.
Right.
There's no seasons.
And just like life, right? It's a never-ending story that you see people, characters, whatever you want to call it, adapt and exist in different situations.
So adapting is so important. And I think that some people feel they're too young, too old. I've already been doing this too long. I've been working in this market, but my passion is to be an artist. I've been working in this as a plumber assistant. I love it, but it's not my passion. My passion is I want to be a trainer. But I'm 50. So what?
I know.
Right? People don't realize that you can rewire yourself, restart, and take on a new superpower.
I think about this, right? Control what you can and what doesn't cost you anything. I think about if you want to just talk, go on Instagram, make some stuff, put it up there. You don't know what's going to happen. I think a lot of us stop nothing's going to come of this. So I'll give you one. I'm at SmackDown for the first time doing extra work. I'm talking to Tyson Kidd, and I'm like, how do you get signed? He goes, well, just share your story. It's always a good thing. I put up a post from when I was a kid, and it was when I was wearing the Rock shirt, and I was and I remember I did a presentation. I was very heavy, and I said, I want to be a wrestler. That's when everyone laughed. And I said, to all those bullies, like, here I am. And the Rock
commented.
Yes, he did.
That's real. I love it. I love it. I got to tell you, Joe, absolute pleasure to have you here.
Yeah.
Motivation, inspiring.
And
really,
it kept my head on my neck.
And you kept Craig alive for now, but we're not done when the cameras go off. But really an inspiration. I need you to say one more time to somebody, how did they get a hold of you to get you to come to join one of your classes, to learn from you?
JoesResultZone.com is the easiest way. You can follow me at Joe_Ocasio on Instagram. That'll lead you right to the Joe's Result Zone Instagram page.
That's phenomenal.
And, phenomenal. That's where you
Craig
find
loves.
me.
I hate it underscore. Can't you get rid of that?
I try. No, it's annoying. It's
the
two.
word. It's like someone who doesn't have a .com.
Yeah, I know. I got to change.
Anyway,
I'm going to find whoever it is.
We're going to you'll squeeze that. Forget about the bell. Craig, take us out.
If you want to be a guest on Randy and Craig, go to b2b-with-randyandcraig.com. And from Randy and Craig from B2B, that's a wrap.
Thank you for tuning in to B2B with Randy and Craig. Looking forward to hanging with you next week.